You are live.
Good morning and welcome to the October 27th, 2020 meeting of the Durham Board of Adjustment. My name is Jacob Rogers. I'm the chair of the board. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we are conducting this meeting using a remote electronic platform as permitted by Session Law 2020-3. The Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial body that is governed by the North Carolina General Statutes and the city's Unified Development Ordinance. The board typically conducts evidentiary hearings on requests for variances, special use permits, among other requests. Today, we will not be hearing any cases, but we do have a few business items to go through. And Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Mr. Rogers?
Here.
Mr. Meadows?
Here.
Ms. DeLacy? Ms. Jeter? Mr. Kipp? Mr. Retchless?
Here.
Ms. Wymore?
Here.
Ms. Major? Mr. Tarrant?
Here.
So we've got 5 of the of 7 that are, I know, are attentive here. We've got, so that is a quorum. So has everyone had the opportunity to look over the minutes from our last meeting? And is there a motion to approve those?
Meadows, move approval of minutes from last meeting.
All right, we need a second. Is there someone want to second?
Let's second.
All right.
Okay. Jimmy, call roll.
Yes.
Mr. Meadows?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Retchless?
Yes.
Ms. Wymore?
Yes.
Mr. Tarrant?
Yes.
All right.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. All right. Hold on, I'm getting. Okay.
And for the record, I do show Mr. Kipp. Can I call you for a roll, Mr. Kipp? I think you're muted.
I sure am. I am here. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
All right. And Jessica Major let us know in advance of this meeting, and let a few of us know that she would not be absent. I think we need a motion for an excused absence. Is that correct? I believe so. I believe that's how we did this last. Yeah, I saw the head nod. Okay. Does anybody want to? And I've got a text from Regina that she is here. I see it in the chat box as well. I'm guessing she may have some trouble with the video or audio.
Both.
Both.
I also had an email from
Mr. Chairman,
Ms.
can you hear me?
Major and
Yes, got you. Thank you, Mr. Lacey. So does anybody want to make a motion for an excused absence for Jessica Major?
Sure. I'll make a motion to excuse the absence of Jessica Major.
I didn't get an email from Miss Jeter. Where did that come from? Hold on. We got a motion in place right now. Is there a second for this excused absence for Jessica Major?
Kip, second.
Thank you, Kip. Susan, do you want to call?
I did.
Lacey, second.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Excuse me. I had Kip as a second on that. Was that correct?
Yeah, he was the first.
Okay. Okay. So Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Meadows,
Yes.
Ms. DeLacy,
Yes.
Mr. Retchless,
Yes.
Ms. Wymore,
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sorry.
Mr.
Regina, we're having a very tough time hearing you. It's cutting out pretty good. Eliza, can you just mute her until we get done? I hate that.
actually, can I start over? So this is the roll call for excusing
Jessica
Mr.
Major.
Wow, Jessica Major. Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Meadows,
Yes.
Mr. Retchless,
Yes.
Ms. Wymore,
Yes,
Mr. Kipp,
Yes.
Mr. Tarrant.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Okay, thank you. Micah Jeter, I don't remember getting an email saying that
I
she.
did. I can forward it to you.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure how to proceed on that. I guess we can give her an excused absence. We'll need a motion for that as well. If anyone would like to offer one, even though none of us knew except Susan.
I'll
Okay.
begin. Okay.
Oh,
Motion to excuse.
all right. Is there a second?
Second, Kip.
Thank you, sir. Susan, you want to call?
Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Meadows,
Yes.
Mr. Kipp,
Yes.
Mr. Retchless,
Yes.
Ms. Wymore,
yes,
Mr. Tarrant.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Yes. All right. Would anybody from the staff side like to take it over now? I know we about the cases. Make any announcements?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Eliza Monroe speaking with the planning department here. I'm just wanting to kind of give a little bit of an update on the cases. As Chair Roger mentioned that we're not going to be hearing any today. So case B20000012, we are moving to the December meeting due to a notification error. So we're wanting to make sure that that one is good to go. So that one will be moving to December. Case B20000019, which you might be familiar with as it was on the August agenda previously. That one is still an issue of potentially consent with the neighboring property owners consenting to this virtual or remote platform. And as we do not have their consent, this is the interpretation of our legal advisees that we do not move forward with that case at this time. So there's a potential that that one could be coming in December, but that's going to be up to the applicant as well as the neighboring property owners to reach potentially an agreement about obtaining consent to come before you all. So just a little bit of background as to that and why we're not hearing those today. There is some new business. We do have to vote upon the calendar for next year before the deadline of November 9th, which was given to us by BOCC, so we can make sure that those dates are in stone. If I'll allow other staff members to chime in before I share that calendar. But that is just an update as to why we don't have anything on the agenda this morning. And if I missed anything, Krista, Brian, or Jessica, please chime in. I think we're good to go.
All right. Well, kind of while we're here, is there, Krista or Brian, any thoughts on? We've had several cases that have continued because of no lack of consent to this, the electronic meeting. Is there any update on when those may resume?
Krista Kukro, City Attorney's Office. At this time, we do not have an update. I think, this is really a decision primarily driven by the administration and the risk management division of the city in conjunction with the county. And so at this time, I don't have any update for you.
All right, Brian Wardell. County Attorney's Office. Right now, the county is still operating under the state of emergency and the local stay-at-home order. So I don't really anticipate, from the county perspective, any change in that until the state of emergency has been lifted. So it's created some issues in some other administrative matters. For instance, with the tax appeals, there's a local appeal, and then you go to the state. Well, locally, we're hearing cases virtually, but the state is kind of back and forth. They'll schedule something and then they'll wait until a week beforehand and say, well, okay, we're going to have it virtually. So it is a bit of a problem. With regard to Durham, I really don't see it changing anytime soon. We've recently had another confirmed COVID case at the courthouse. So most, if not all, I would say 90 to 95% of all the matters heard at the courthouse are being heard virtually, unless there's consent by both sides to hear it in person. And in that case, the judge will make a decision as to whether or not they want to hear it in person. So, the long and the short of it is, we really don't know when it's gonna change in terms of in-person hearings. There have been a number of requests from a few applicants to have in-person hearings. One of the other matters that Eliza didn't mention, because the parties consented to take it off, but was the motions in the appeal, the West Point appeal, and it is my understanding that both the motions and the actual appeal itself is going to be heard in December, which would be a very, very full December calendar, because I think those appeals and that particular and those motions are going to take a long time. So, that's where we are.
I guess we could always break it into, or have 2 meetings in 1 month, since we're not having a very long meeting this month, right?
Eliza and our staff here, we had, I brought that idea up potentially. So it'd have to be in December, and more than likely be the week after our December 8th meeting. So that would be something we would need to probably decide and hash out pretty soon, just for notification period deadlines. But that is, I had mentioned it very briefly and speaking with other staff members that might be something we'll need to do. But it really depends upon calendar. If we can't obtain a quorum, I understand that's closer to holidays. I'd rather not advertise if we can't for sure have the amount of people that we need there.
All right. Okay. So any old business to go over? All right. New business, we've got the 2021 calendar. Eliza, you want to share that?
Yeah, I will share my screen really quickly so everyone can just see those dates. So it might be a little bit of a lag there in terms of sharing. So it's going to be pretty much the exact same. I will thank Susan for putting together this document, but we are going to still be doing the 4th Tuesday of every month. November, we're still not having a meeting in November, and then December, it will be that 2nd Tuesday, as it's always been. So I believe we would need a motion to approve these dates. Is that right, Susan? Or Krista, sorry, either or.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the 2021 meeting dates?
DeLacy?
Is there a second?
Why more second?
Thank you. Susan?
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Kip,
Yes.
Mr. Meadows,
Yep.
Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Retchless,
Yes.
Ms. Wymore,
Yes.
Mr. Tarrant.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, we need the next, is there any other new business? Okay, we've got 3 different orders here to approve, I believe.
Just one.
Just 40, ending in 40. All right.
That's
So, Chad, unfortunately, you can't vote on this one. This is the flag lot. I think the order was emailed by Krista a few moments ago. If you need that, so we need a motion and a second for B 2000040 for approval.
Retchless, motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Kip, second.
Thank you. Susan?
Ms. DeLacy,
Yes.
Mr. Kipp,
Yes.
Mr. Meadows. I'm
Madam-
sorry. Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Retchless,
Yes.
Ms. Wymore,
Yes.
Mr. Tarrant.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
All right. I think that is all. And our next meeting is December 8th. We're not having one in November, is just to make sure everybody knows that. All right. Is there any other business? Seeing none. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Wait, that's all?
That's it.
Okay.
Very quick this
I
morning.
joined 3 times to get that this short. This is the record. DeLacy, move to adjourn with our next meeting, the date certain of December 8th.
I second.
All right. All in favor, raise your hand. All right. We'll see you all on December 8th at 8:30 a.m.
Adios.
Have a good
Bye.
week.